Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a story, a narrative really, that breaks down what happens when your safe space, your retreat, isn't safe at all.
And we're not talking about, a typical ghost story or even a simple home invasion. This is different.
Yeah, this is about a calculated, almost staged scenario, where the very isolation you're paying for is turned into a weapon against you.
Exactly. It's a psychological blueprint.
So our source material for this deep dive is an incident at a secluded rental property known only as the Blackwood Retreat. And our mission, for you listening, is to really analyze the steps that turn a peaceful escape into, well, a complete nightmare. How does that feeling of being alone become a feeling of being trapped?
And the key takeaway here isn't just about the fear. It's about how the system itself, the rental system, failed, and how an intruder can use the structure of a property to maintain total control.
Okay, let's unpack this. So it starts with our main figure, Sarah. She's completely burned out, just went through a bad breakup.
She needs silence. That's her motivation.
Total silence. She finds this cabin deep in the woods in Oregon, and the first detail that jumps out from the sources is the price. It's described over and over as suspiciously cheap.
And that's your first red flag.
Yeah.
It's the most critical one, really. In the rental market, especially for these short-term places, seclusion is a premium feature.
You pay more for it.
You pay way more for it. So if you see a place offering deep isolation for a bargain price, your immediate thought should be, okay, what's the catch? Is the place falling apart, or is the host just completely negligent?
In this case, the discount was basically being subsidized, just not by the owner.
Not at all.
So that really sets the stage for this illusion of solitude. Sarah gets there late on a Friday night, just ready for that quiet she's been craving.
And her state of mind is a huge factor. Her vulnerability, her need for that silence, becomes the psychological entry point for everything that follows. She's primed to explain away anything weird.
And right away, the environment itself feels off. The source describes the sun setting, casting these long, twisted shadows. I mean, it's an immediate visual sense of menace.
Yeah, but even more than that, it's the sound. Or really, the lack of it.
The dead silence.
A profound dead silence. The sources are specific. No birds, no crickets, none of that ambient background noise you expect in the woods. This isn't just quiet. It's unnatural.
Right, because anyone who's actually been in the woods knows it's never truly silent. There's always something.
Yeah.
A rustle, bugs, the wind.
Precisely. And when you take that noise floor away, any sound that does happen, like a footstep, it becomes magnified. It's maximally effective.
The Sarah goes through the motions, finds the key under the mat, pours a glass of wine, gets a fire going. She's trying to claim the space.
Treating that little bubble of comfort.
But then around 9 o'clock, the environment pushes back. The first calculated blow. It's just a slight sound. A thump from upstairs.
And she does what anyone would do.
Right. The house is just settling. She rationalizes it.
But this is where the intruder, or whatever it is, starts to shift gears from just hiding to active auditory surveillance. Because the source says it's only 10 minutes later that the sound escalates. It's not a random thump anymore.
No, it becomes the very distinct rhythmic sound of heavy footsteps.
And that's the pivot. That's the moment it shifts from just random noise to a recognized consciousness. The sound is described as tuck, tick, pacing, directly back and forth in the bedroom right above her head. That changes everything. It's not the house settling anymore. It's a person, and they are deliberately making their presence known.
So she tries to regain control. She grabs a flashlight and she calls out, "Hello, is anyone there? The owner said I'd be alone."
And she gets nothing.
Just silence.
And that silence after the challenge is the most potent weapon in this situation. It's psychological warfare. If someone had yelled back, it would confirm the threat. Her fight or flight would kick in.
Yeah, she'd know what she was dealing with.
Instead, the silence just throws her back into that anxiety loop. Am I crazy? Was it a raccoon? Did I imagine it? It just maximizes her distress while the intruder stays completely hidden.
So she tries to force things back to normal, goes into the kitchen to make some tea or something, and that is when the intrusion crosses from sound to space.
This is the pivotal moment, the spatial violation.
She turns around from the kitchen counter and she sees the basement door. And the source is crystal clear on this detail. She remembers checking that door when she first arrived. It was locked up tight.
And now
it's just standing wide open.
See, a lock is the most basic symbol of security. When that's been bypassed while you are in the next room, the house instantly stops being a refuge. It's a hunting ground now. It confirms the threat isn't just there, it's moving freely.
And the sensory details here are so specific. A cold draft comes up from the door, and a smell. It's described as wet earth and something metallic like old copper.
Let's analyze that smell for a second. That smell, dampness, old pipes, maybe a little bit of decay, that's the natural scent of a hidden space, a crawl space, an attic. It grounds the terror in something real. It tells you this presence is organic and has been there for a while.
And just as Sarah walks over to slam the door shut, a new sound starts. From the darkness of the basement.
Whistling, yeah, whistling.
Which is such a terrifyingly brilliant choice.
It's not some, spooky, sinister tune. The source says it was a happy, upbeat tune. It's this total juxtaposition of a normal, cheerful sound coming from this black hole in the floor.
It's pure psychological manipulation. It suggests leisure, control. The intruder isn't scared or hiding. He's enjoying himself. He's doing a completely mundane thing in the most terrifying place possible. He is absolutely comfortable with what he's doing.
Sarah slams the door shut, locks it. She grabs her phone, of course, and then hits that wall. The crucial constraint of these scenarios.
No signal.
No signal. She's cut off. The technological isolation just confirms the physical isolation. The house, the wilderness. It's all working against her now.
And the second she locks that door, the whistling stops. Then immediately, this frantic, loud, rapid knocking. Bang, bang, bang.
But from where?
From the inside of the basement door she just locked.
It's a direct response. It's mocking her. He's saying, I saw you lock that door and it doesn't matter. He knows she's trapped.
So she runs, grabs her keys, fumbles with the front door lock, and behind her, she can hear the basement doorknob rattling violently, the wood groaning like something is throwing its weight against it.
She's trading the supposed safety of the locked cabin for the open road. It's the only move she has left.
She gets to her car, jams the key in the ignition, and oh, of course, you get that classic moment of technological failure. The engine just sputters. Cha-cha.
It's the final moment of tension, the house trying to hold on to her one last time. But then it catches.
The engine roars to life, and as she throws the car in reverse, the headlights swing across the front of the cabin, and that's when she sees him.
The visual confirmation.
A figure, just standing there calmly in the living room window, the same room she just ran from.
And the description is so important here for the analysis.
It's not a monster. It's not some shadowy figure. It's a man.
Right?
And he looks completely calm. He's wearing a flannel shirt and holding a cup of coffee.
The flannel shirt, the coffee. He's exploiting what we call normalcy bias. He looks like a friendly neighbor. He's disguised as harmless, which makes you question everything you just experienced. He's relaxed because his plan worked. He wanted her to run.
And then he does the one thing that confirms this is all a game to him. He waves.
A slow, deliberate, mocking wave.
Just confirming his victory. But the detail, the most chilling detail from the source, the one that explains everything, is what he's holding in his other hand.
Besides the coffee.
Her phone. The one she left on the kitchen counter when she ran.
And that one object that changes this from an opportunistic crime to sophisticated long-term observation. He wasn't just there. He was watching her. He knew her habits. He knew exactly where she'd drop her lifeline in a panic.
So Sarah drives until she can get a signal, calls the police. They go out to the Blackwood retreat the next morning.
And this is where we get the technical findings.
Do you find the cabin empty? Pristine. No signs of a break-in. The basement is just a basement, dirt floor. Everything looks completely normal.
Which is crucial. The lack of physical evidence makes it look like she's just hysterical. It protects the owner, from any liability.
But they find one thing. The one thing that connects that cheap price to the man with the coffee. In the attic. They find a sleeping bag and food wrappers. Weeks old.
And that's the synthesis. That's the aha moment.
Yeah.
This guy didn't break in that night. He had been living there the whole time.
Waiting
for a guest. He had set up a long-term hiding spot, probably getting into the attic from inside the house somewhere.
So the cheap price. It wasn't a discount. It was part of the predator's strategy. He wasn't trying to break in. He was waiting for someone to pay to unknowingly shelter him, to give him heat, electricity, running water.
And a fresh, isolated target. This whole thing just exposes a massive security hole in the short-term rental world, doesn't it? The turnover protocols, the cleaning. For him to be there for weeks, someone had to be cutting major corners.
The Blackwood retreat was never a refuge for her. It was his observation post. She was paying rent to be the subject of his surveillance. The threat wasn't something she needed to lock out.
The threat was already inside the structure. She locked herself in with it.
And that That structural compromise is the key piece of knowledge to take from this. It's not about being scared of dark basements. It's about analyzing the system failures that let something like this happen.
You have to look at those red flags. A price that's too good to be true for that level of seclusion, a complete lack of interaction with the host, that feeling of unnatural silence. Those aren't just spooky details, they're potential signs of an environment that's been optimized for observation.
So we've traced the entire incident, from that first suspicious price to the chilling confirmation of the man with the coffee, the flannel shirt, and her phone.
Yeah. And the real power of the story is how it shifts from what could be paranoia to documented fact. That the most sophisticated threats, they leverage our own comfort and our desire for normalcy to control us.
It really makes you wonder, when you analyze these kinds of security flaws, and this is the thought we want to leave you with today, how much of what we call seclusion in a retreat is actually just the ideal setup for a patient long-term threat?
Until next time, just remember that sometimes the biggest vulnerabilities are the very amenities you paid for.